Alright guys, we'll come to you with another video. I hope all of y'all are doing well. Um, my intentions in making these videos aren't to, stir up or provoke, a hatred or provoke how should I put it, animosity. That's not my intention when I make videos on these issues. My intention is to raise the awareness of the climate in which we're living in as minorities. That's my intention on doing these videos. And also my other intention is to share that perhaps maybe you have experienced success in maybe an interracial marriage or an interracial relationship. Maybe you have experienced success in that, but it does not mean or negate the fact that on any given day you may be a victim of a hate crime like the one I'm going to speak on today. This hit me pretty hard. I'm thinking about it right now for the simple fact that it's just, it's crazy how they did it. But it happened in Canada, and the thing is about Canada, like what Canada will pride itself on is being liberal, having less racism than the United States, and being a welcoming country to immigrants and what have you. It prides itself on being that, but it actually exists in the opposite form. What needs to also be said is the simple fact that with Canada, you have to look at the formation of Canada. How was Canada formed as they know it today? Canada was formed through the same way in which America was formed, and that was mass genocide of the native people who were there before the Europeans came. So you have to understand that, and that's in the very fabric of the nation. And to this day, Indians are still a marginalized group over there. I mean, you hardly even hear about them even existing there, truthfully speaking. Now, with this situation, it's pretty bad, and I'm gonna tell you why it's bad. Well, the first aspect of the situation is the simple fact that how they died. I believe it was a 44-year-old man, or 44-year-old woman, 46-year-old man, 76-year-old lady, and it was a 15-year-old little girl. A 9-year-old boy got injured, but he's expected to live. This was all one family. But what happened is that a 20-year-old Canadian took it upon himself to run them over, hit and run, actually, just run them over and hit and run and drive away. With that being said, that's a horrible way to die. Because I think what it was one of those big trucks, like with the big wheels on it. I don't think it was a big rig, but I think it was one of those big trucks. And so he just did it for the simple fact that, number one, they're a minority, and number two, well, I would think that probably the first thing was they're Muslim. That was the first strike against them. And then I guess the second strike will be the fact that they're a minority. in the country. So when that happened, he just decided that he was going to hit and run. And the sad thing about this situation is the simple fact that I pray to Allah for this boy. He's only 9 years old. I pray to Allah for this boy that he can overcome the trauma and the issues that he will have to face growing up, because now, and hopefully he has some extended family there that can take care of him and that can take him in and that can give him the environment needed to flourish and prosper. Because now he's growing up without a mother and without a father, and also without a sister too. And it's sad, man, that he has to endure this and the way he has to endure it. As Africans, we're taught that, especially in my tribe, Fulani tribe, we're taught to be calm and reserved no matter what circumstances we find ourselves in, and be poker faced and don't reveal too much. I'm going to tell you, this is one of the most difficult things to do, for the simple fact that there's a lot of things that happen to us when we go to places where a system of, hatred for minorities, and especially black minorities, is put into place. I can't really disclose stories. I can't really disclose my own personal stories about what I've endured with the hatred from white people. But I can tell you I've endured a lot, losing friends, losing family members to it. All types of stuff, man. Almost even, without saying too much, almost even losing my life because of their hateful ways, So I don't know what's gonna happen. I really don't. I mean, one of my spiritual teachers actually said, and this is kind of bad that he said it, but I'm starting to believe it. He said that the years that follow each other are just going to morally decline more and more. So he said this year, like 2021, is just gonna get worse, and then 2022 is just gonna get worse, and then so on. That's what he said. And I don't know, from seeing how the vaccine is being pushed, and seeing how how these things are happening, and seeing how Joe Biden is actually doing a lot of bad too, I'm starting to believe it, But my prayers goes out to that family, and my prayers especially goes out to that little boy, man. I just hope to God that he finds it in his way to grow up not hating everything, because when you lose your sister, when you lose your mother, when you lose your father, when you lose your grandmother all at the same time, and you're so young, that's a very difficult, steep hill to overcome. It's very steep. And that's one thing about another thing with me myself, that I had to, and I'm still learning, that I had to really learn how to not hate the world and be mad all the time because of things that occurred due to, racism and things like that. I had to learn how to not do that. Although racism, it cost me money, it cost me family members. Cost me a property even, but I had to learn to, not be mad or anything at it, and just look at it as part of God's plan, and that, there's better on the way. Although sometimes it doesn't seem like it, you have to believe that there is better on the way. But again, my prayers and my thoughts go out to that family. It's a sad situation all the way around. And I guess, let it be a reminder. Let this be a reminder too that, and I'm talking to mostly the Pakistanis and the Indians, things like that. It's better for you not to hold us black people in contempt, because the same people that, you guys aspire to hold you in contempt, So I think that y'all should just understand that you're in the same bucket with us. And yeah, maybe you may be a little shades lighter. You may have a different dialect. You may, have different customs and what have you. But, it doesn't change the simple fact that you guys are, not exempt from hate crimes at all. And unfortunately, y'all are not exempt from violent hate crimes. So, with that being said, I say this to the, Indian, Pakistani, and Bengali community. Y'all should just kind of examine the prejudgments you make on us black people, when the simple fact that you guys are going to be judged too, But anyhow, man, that's all I got to say for this one. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Let me know if you think it's going to get worse or if it's going to get better. Fula signing out. Inja Rama.